This is United Network News with Sunny Galt, Calen, Kimberly Gogan, and our field messengers from around the world. Here's today's real news.
It's Friday, August 8th, 2025, and here are today's stories. The sudden shutdown of USAID has sparked confusion and concern. What caused one of America's most important global aid agencies to go dark? And what does it mean for humanitarian efforts around the world? In northern Melbourne, residents are feeling trapped, not by traffic, but by parking fines right outside their own homes. UNN's Calen reports on the stress it's causing for everyday families. From fake voices to deep fakes, AI is fueling a new wave of high-tech scams. It's powerful and dangerous. So, are we in control of the technology, or is it already running ahead of us? Australia's solar farms might be facing a dimmer future as facilities age, efficiency drops, and risks rise. UNN's John visits Singleton Solar Farm to explore the challenges. Feeling overwhelmed? Mindfulness may just be what you need. Discover how this ancient practice is helping people find calm and clarity in today's fast-paced world, with science to back it up. And from rubble to a garden of wonder, UNN Simone walks us through the Dorothy Clive Gardens. Once an abandoned quarry, now a beautiful tribute to nature and healing. The shutdown of USAID could have long-term consequences for global development efforts. It could also have immediate effects on individuals. Without funding and support from one of the largest international aid organizations, progress made in areas such as education, healthcare, and disaster relief may come to a stop. It all started with budget cuts. USAID was one of the first to get hit under the Department of Government Efficiency, previously led by Elon Musk, as part of an effort to shrink the federal government. Things escalated quickly after Trump's executive order in January froze development aid for 90 days. By March, 83% of USAID's funding had been cut. Its staff largely laid off, and its functions transferred to the State Department.
On July 1st, 2025, USAID officially shut off after more than 60 years of operation. Let's take a look at the agency's history and what the world might look like without it. USAID was born in the heat of the Cold War. President John F. Kennedy wanted to create an agency to counter Soviet influence in less developed countries across the world. So some of the early USAID efforts focused on building roads, dams, and improving agriculture in Southeast Asia, Africa, and Latin America. Many of them were Cold War conflict zones. In the early 70s, under pressure from Congress, USAID moved away from expensive infrastructure projects and shifted toward basic human needs. After the Soviet Union collapsed in the 1990s, USAID shifted its priority again, for instance by supporting grassroots democracy efforts in Eastern Europe and former Soviet republics. But how much does foreign aid like this really cost? In 2025, the number, $58.4 billion. Well, it's not a small amount, but compared to the estimated $7 trillion federal budget, it's only 0.83% of that. Waste had been found in USAID's decades-long operation. For instance, the 2021 report from the Government Accountability Office made more than 150 recommendations on the reconstruction efforts in Afghanistan that had cost $141 billion since 2002. A study published by the medical journal The Lancet suggested USAID had prevented the deaths of more than 90 million people. With the current steep cut, the study predicted the world without USAID could cause more than 14 million deaths by 2030.
Humanitarian groups are seeing the real impact of USAID funding cuts, and it's hitting hard. Many vulnerable communities, such as refugees and those living in poverty, are left without essential aid and support. According to reports, USAID recently canceled a contract that was supposed to supply thousands of health centers in Congo with post-rape kits. This decision has left survivors without essential care, such as HIV medication and emergency contraception. In Sudan, clinics ran out of antibiotics, and cholera outbreaks spiraled without U.S.-funded response teams. Soup kitchens also closed, leaving families hungry. In Zimbabwe, thousands lost access to life-saving HIV medication. These funding cuts are having real, devastating impacts on people's lives. The USAID shutdown isn't just hurting people abroad. It's affecting the U.S. too. American businesses, nonprofits, and farms involved in aid are feeling the ripple effects of canceled contracts and disruptions.
When they were in business, USAID wasn't spending American taxpayer funds only on foreigners, as many claim. 80% of the companies that had contracts with the agency were American. USAID was investing money back into the pockets of as many as 50,000 American contractors employed by universities, nonprofits, and aid organizations. Because so much was affected, we can't cover it all in a single video. So we'll be focusing on the two most critical aspects of USAID, food and health. Huge USAID program, Food for Peace, bought surplus food from American farmers and delivered it to countries in need, benefiting over 4 billion hungry people worldwide since 1954. So when malnourished children received much-needed breakfasts in Afghanistan, or families in famine-prone Sudan lined up for a meal from an emergency kitchen, 41% of that food was sourced directly from American farmers who were paid about $2 billion annually. $2 billion bought everything from Iowa soybean oil to Oklahoma wheat, Kansas lentils, produce from Virginia, and Georgia peanut products, including a nutritional paste that's a powerhouse for fighting hunger. The products were then sent around the globe by USAID and its contractors. But by mid-February, just days after the cuts began, $489 million worth of food assistance and over 500,000 metric tons of American-grown food already paid for by USAID remained stranded in ports or in transit, with a significant portion at risk of spoiling. In Larned, Kansas, the Pawnee County Cooperative Association reportedly had 1.5 million bushels of sorghum, a key grain in cereals, in storage with no one to buy it. Port Houston had 235,000 tons of wheat stranded in warehouses, according to local sources, as well as 30,000 metric tons of cornmeal, pinto beans, lentils, rice, and vegetable oil. Similar issues reportedly impacted ports in Boston, Miami, Norfolk, Savannah, New York, Chicago, and Lake Charles. At ports in Kenya, nearly $200 million in emergency food aid remained undelivered. Contractors and local USAID staff responsible for getting the food, which had already been bought and paid for, from the Kenyan ports to the South Sudanese people, did not receive payment due to the USAID pause.
In addition to the immediate effects on individuals, the shutdown of USAID could also have long-term consequences for global development efforts. Without funding and support from one of the largest international aid organizations, progress made in areas such as education, healthcare, and disaster relief may come to a stop. The International Rescue Committee says the organization has lost several grants, with 40% of its funding coming from USAID. Because of this, a lot of programs are shutting down. Things like water and sanitation projects, mobile health clinics, and education programs. For example, thousands of girls in Afghanistan can no longer attend school now that informal and underground schooling efforts have stopped. All of this raises a tough question. What happens to years of hard work when the funding disappears, leaving communities worse off than before?
In the next 12 months, if this, aid is cut, foreign aid is cut, you could get in the region of 1 million deaths. This is a lot. The question is, do people today care? Do people understand? Do governments give a flying you-know-what? Where they have so much else, like Trump telling them about trade tariffs and this and that, like the COVID, like the war in Ukraine, like all these cuts and having to now increase military spending. Are they just hoping that nobody pays attention and they can just cut this vital soft power and humanitarian life-saving aid without anybody noticing or anybody caring?
The closure of USAID isn't just a bureaucratic change. It's leaving a deep mark on the world's most vulnerable populations. From healthcare to education, the ripple effects of these funding cuts are being felt across the globe, and the consequences could last for years to come.
Residents in northern Melbourne are being fined for parking outside their own homes during certain hours. UNN Field Messenger Helen reports on how these rules are causing added stress for the local community.
Hello beautiful beings, this is Field Messenger Helen reporting with nature from a quiet suburban street in northern Melbourne, the northern suburbs. I'm going to show you something that's going on with revenue raising, where they are prohibiting residents to park on their own street. This is a weekday, there's just no through traffic to anywhere here. And they've got signs all along the street which limit your parking at all during the day on a Monday to Friday and Saturday morning. There's no reason whatsoever to prohibit the residents here, who pay all their rates and everything else to live here, and now they're not allowing them to have their friends or themselves park out the front of their house, or you'll get a fine from the council. And I recently was in one of these spots and they have magnetic strips under the asphalt and I got a $99 fine. I've seen these identical signs where it's alternating one side of the road or the other on quiet streets in the south of Melbourne and other suburbs. So this is something they are rolling out across Melbourne so that they can fine people and get more revenue to keep doing their harm. There's just no reason to be doing this to residents except to create stress and financial difficulty and for them to take funds. So, yeah, I'm not sure that we're going to get any sort of cohesive action for people together. People seem to just accept this ridiculousness. So, there you go. That's what's happening in Melbourne. Bye.
Artificial intelligence is changing the world in big ways, and not always for the better. While it's making life easier in many areas, it's also fueling a rise in AI-powered scams that are more convincing than ever. From fake voices fooling people to deep fakes causing chaos, it's clear that AI isn't all sunshine and rainbows. The question is, are we ready to handle the tricky side of AI? Or are we just winging it and hoping for the best? The irony is AI is a double-edged sword in the fight against fraud. Banks and tech companies are using it to catch scams faster, but scammers are using it to level up their game too. As AI becomes more advanced, it's helping both sides, blocking fraud while also making fake scams feel disturbingly real. Take voice cloning, for example. Scammers are using tools to mimic someone's voice and trick victims into sending money, often pretending to be a loved one in distress. Deep fakes are also being used to impersonate people, making romance and investment scams seem legit. And it doesn't stop there. Fake online listings for things like rentals or sales are popping up, fueled by AI-generated images and websites designed to steal your money or personal information. Even phishing emails have gotten smarter, with AI making them sound more tailored and harder to detect.
I don't know about you, but I've seen an increasing amount of videos showing older people, whether they're Gen X or boomers, getting tricked by AI slop content online. Now, many of these clips are supposed to be funny and lighthearted, but we're already starting to see some nefarious acts on the news, and some people are getting scammed out of tons of money. Now, of course, this has been a problem for years with all of the phone and email scams, but now you could be convinced by a scammer with video proof that really ends up just being AI content and tricking tricks tons of people out of everything they have. And I really think it's only going to get worse with the technology advancing constantly. So what does the future hold when these photos and videos get scary good? And the people who control social media and the algorithm, which we all spend hours a day on, are 100% on board with this content because it makes people watch more, which in turn brings more ad revenue onto the site. It makes them even more money, even though the posts aren't from real humans.
Even the travel industry isn't safe, and AI-powered scams are turning what should be a fun trip into a major headache. Scammers are no longer just creating fake booking sites. They're now using AI to clone the voices and identities of real travel agents, making their schemes harder to spot. It's a growing problem. For example, Booking.com reports a 500 to 900% spike in scams in the last 18 months. And McAfee, a worldwide leader in online protection, found 30% of adults have either been scammed or know someone who has while trying to save on trips.
While you're dreaming of paradise, AI is helping scammers create traps that are harder to spot than a chameleon on a plaid beach blanket. Here are some tips to make sure you catch some real waves and not a virtual fake-out. Beware of too good to be true websites. AI can generate incredibly realistic fake booking sites for hotels, flights, and tours. They look exactly like the real deal. Same logos, fancy fonts, legit locations, even sparkling customer reviews. But it's all spoofed. You may see a luxury villa for the price of a roadside motel. You book it, you pay up, and poof, your money disappears faster than an ice cream cone on a hot day. Trust your gut. If your first thought is, am I seeing things? Proceed with caution. Double check URLs. Look for that https:// and make sure the website name isn't just one letter off from the real one, like Travelocity instead of Travelocity. Book directly. When in doubt, book directly with the airline, hotel, or a well-known travel agent. Consider paying with a credit card for additional fraud protection.
The key to protecting yourself is staying alert and being cautious. Don't share personal info. Don't click on random links and avoid answering spam calls. Set up multi-factor authentication. Do your homework before buying from unfamiliar companies and steer clear of sketchy payment methods like gift cards or wire transfers. If you do fall victim to a scam, don't panic. There are steps you can take to limit the damage. Lock your credit. Report the scam to your local consumer protection agency or the platform where it occurred. Notify your bank and scan your devices for malware. And don't forget to update your passwords with something strong and secure. It's a simple step that can go a long way in keeping you safe. At the end of the day, staying informed and cautious is your best defense.
Tired before the day begins? NAD Plus levels drop 50% after 40. NAD Plus helps your cells bounce back fast. Most supplements give precursors. NAD Plus skips the breakdown, delivering direct, bioavailable power. Support your energy, metabolism, sleep, and stress levels at the cellular level. Join the NAD Plus revolution. Start your journey to a healthier you. Subscribe today.
Hey, I'm Kirsten from Switzerland.
This is Wayne from Tucson.
Hi, my name is Desmond from Ghana.
I am Claudia from Dawsonville, Georgia.
I'm Mikey from Pretoria, South Africa.
Hi, I'm Steve McGrath, Fort McMurray, Alberta, Canada.
People from all around the world are coming together.
Happy day, beautiful world. We are here in a rather small urban garden, and this video is just to show you the joys that we've had in this garden with the electric gardening.
When news happens in their area, they show us what's really going on.
We have people in the streets protesting for and against.
At United Network News, our field messengers are changing the face of news.
This is Field Messenger Helen reporting with nature, and I'm going to talk to you about the bees again.
Take the next step in restoring our planet. Become a UNN Field Messenger today.
Hi, I'm Stephanie from South Africa. If it's going to be, it's up to me.
If it's going to be, it's up to me.
It's up to me.
It's up to me. It's up to me.
It's up to me.
It's up to all of us. We're UNN, and we're taking back the news.
As solar farms get older, they can lose efficiency and develop structural problems if not well maintained. UNN Field Messenger John takes a closer look at what's happening at the Singleton Solar Farm in Australia.
Hello, my name is John Gruen, reporting for United Network News from Singleton, Australia. Singleton is west of Newcastle. Newcastle's on the coast, on the east coast of Australia, and I'm roughly 100 kilometres inland from there. Today I'd like to take you for a look at Singleton's ageing solar farm to show you what sustainable renewable looks like after about 24 years. So this farm is situated around 4 kilometres outside of Singleton. It's located on 2.75 hectares or 7 acres of farmland. It was constructed back in 1998-99 as part of the 2000 Sydney Olympics and stands, to my way of thinking, as a testament to the challenges of maintaining ageing solar infrastructure. As one of the largest solar farms in Australia at the time, this 407 kilowatt array has since fallen into disrepair and serves as a cautionary tale for the renewable energy industry. So this drone footage I captured a few days ago reveals the extent of the solar farm's damage and deterioration. You'll see damaged and cracked solar panels, missing solar panels, most of them likely manufactured in China because everything you can buy in Australia seems to be made in China, no longer produce electricity efficiently. And the land beneath the panels is largely barren. It used to be farmland, but now we only see weeds really thriving in the neglected environment. In June of 22, the Singleton Solar Farm was sold by power distributor Ausgrid to a local family-owned business I won't name, and the new owner plans to refurbish the ageing infrastructure and expand the existing 2.75 hectare, 7 acre site. Food for thought. Thank you for listening, and signing off from Singleton, my name is John. See you next time. Bye-bye.
In a world that often feels like it's moving too fast, mindfulness offers a way to pause, breathe, and reconnect. Rooted in ancient traditions and now widely studied in modern science, mindfulness is more than a buzzword. It's a practical tool for improving mental, emotional, and even physical well-being. At its core, mindfulness is about being present, paying attention to what's happening in the moment without judgment. It's not about clearing your mind or achieving enlightenment. It's about tuning into your thoughts, feelings, and surroundings with curiosity and kindness. Over the past few decades, mindfulness has moved from Buddhist temples and meditation retreats into hospitals, schools, and workplaces.
All mindfulness is, it's being fully present to what's happening here inside you, what's happening here in your head, what's happening here in your environment, experiencing it wholly, not getting distracted, and if you do get distracted by other thoughts or other things in the environment, pulling yourself back to this present moment and experiencing it without judgment, not using those shortcuts of saying this is good or bad, but just describing it, experiencing it as it is. That's all mindfulness is.
Mindfulness is a simple idea, but it's having a big impact. Why? Because it's effective, and the science behind it is strong and growing stronger every year. More and more studies are confirming what many have experienced firsthand. Mindfulness can significantly reduce stress, anxiety, and depression. One major meta-analysis by Bassam Khoury and colleagues reviewed more than 200 studies and found mindfulness-based interventions like mindfulness-based stress reduction can improve both mental and emotional health, even for people dealing with chronic pain, PTSD, or other serious health conditions.
Mindfulness simply means being aware of your thoughts and feelings without so much judgment. It helps you become aware of your thought patterns so you can start to challenge your thoughts. This leads to being able to change your negative thought patterns. Mindfulness also helps you accept your feelings without judging them so much. When you can be more in acceptance of your feelings instead of running away from them or trying to suppress them, then you can sit down and start to understand where they come from. And by understanding your feelings, then you can start to regulate them. Mindfulness also helps keep rumination under control, where you cycle over and over through obsessive thoughts or fears. And finally, mindfulness can also be a part of your meditation practice, where you learn to sit with your current thoughts or feelings, try to come more into acceptance of them so you can understand them, and then challenge the negative thought patterns that come into your mind during meditation.
Mindfulness isn't just good for your mental health. It can actually improve your physical health too. Studies show regular mindfulness practice can reduce inflammation in the body, boost your immune system, and even slow biological aging. A 2022 meta-analysis of nearly 5,000 participants found mindfulness-based programs helped lower key inflammation markers and improved immune function. One large study of veterans found online mindfulness training improved pain and overall well-being for up to a year. Another showed mindfulness helped lower blood pressure by almost 7 points systolic, which is similar to what some medications achieve. And when it comes to back pain, research published in the Journal of the American Medical Association found just 8 weeks of mindfulness-based therapy reduced pain and even cut down on opioid use. And the best part? Mindfulness is easy to start, and you don't need special equipment, expensive classes, or hours of free time.
Here are 4 steps to start practicing mindfulness. Number 1, be aware. This means to be aware of everything in your environment as well as everything that you're doing and thinking. Keep your focus on the present moment. Number 2, don't multitask. Do one thing at a time. You're actually more efficient if you complete one thing at a time anyway. Number 3, be intentional with mundane tasks. Be focused on the task rather than getting the task over with. So if you're washing dishes, focus on washing each dish and keep repeating that thought until all the dishes are washed. If you wash the dishes while you're thinking about how much you hate washing dishes, you'll still get the dishes washed, but when you do it mindfully, you finish with less negativity. Number 4, listen when other people are talking. Don't think about your to-do list or what you're going to say next. Listen to every word the person says as if you need to repeat it back to them.
Today is a great day to start being more mindful. Just 5 minutes a day can make a big difference. It's okay if your mind starts to wander. The goal isn't perfection, it's consistency. Those small daily moments of mindfulness can lead to big benefits for your mind and body.
Once an abandoned quarry, the Dorothy Clive Gardens have been transformed into a stunning showcase of love and a deep passion for nature. UNN Field Messenger Simone takes us on a tour of this magical place, sharing its heartfelt story and breathtaking sights.
Hi, this is Simone and I'm reporting for United Network News here from the Dorothy Clive Gardens. It's near Stoke-on-Trent in the countryside, and absolutely gorgeous place. It used to be a quarry and, just like a mining thing, and it was beautified by a couple who bought the quarry after it was no longer in use. And they created an absolutely fabulous garden, which I will show you now. I'm going to go on a tour with you. And we also have our lovely, entertaining guest, Harry, and he's going to tell you the story of the garden.
This is the Dorothy Clive Gardens, just in Shropshire, south of Stoke-on-Trent. Absolutely, you've got to listen to this. This is amazing. This garden since 1888, Harry Clive married a lady called Dorothy Clive. They didn't even have to change the surnames. Amazing. So anyway, they got married, and the love, the passion was always to do with gardening and planting flowers. And we're sitting in a garden that they built with their bare hands, and it was that nice. People walking past would turn around and say, "Do you mind ever come and look at your flowers?" And it built up until the BBC come and recorded it. because it's turned into a fabulous garden with a quarry that they bought right in the middle of it, and there's a waterfall. But they went round and got plants from all over the world and actually planted them here in a beautiful garden. For example, the rhododendrons, they come out, it's like a firework display. Imagine a garden like a firework display. And the feeling in it is fabulous. You've just seen a few clouds of butterflies go past. Well, not clouds, but enough, you know, to say, there's one, there's one, there's one. And you'll see here plants that you've never seen in your life, which is spectacular. But because there's an emotional background as well, passion and emotion in a garden between the two. And she actually pushed him around in a wheelchair. She thought he'd lost him at war. He'd come back from war. And then eventually it reversed, that he had to help her because she got cancer. Both passed away now. But they've left a massive legacy of a beautiful garden that you'll see on this video, which is absolutely amazing. So if ever you come near Stoke-on-Trent in the UK, you've got to come see the Dorothy Clive garden. It is fantastic.
Thank you, Harry, for telling us the story. That's really great. Thank you so much.
And there they are.
Yeah, there they are. Oh, beautiful
and
people. Passionate people.
Both having the same surname. Didn't have to change the surname. Amazing.
Thank you, Harry. Serves as a little reminder of how much we can do to restore Mother Earth and give her some love. And I sure hope that this served as a little inspiration. And I hope that you enjoyed our little walk today. This is Simone signing off for United Network News.
Now it's your turn. Join our weekly meetings and become a field messenger. More information is available at our website, unitednetwork.earth. We're UNN, and we're taking back the news.